Hi, Mark here, Friday, February the 27th. It's 7:50 a.m. Eastern, 12:50 p.m. GMT, and the US session is about to get underway. Let's have a look how the markets are shaping up. US dollar index on the daily chart, as you can see, still stuck in this very sideways range for now. I've got support at 90. I'm going to move it a bit higher for today. I had it at yesterday's levels. It's narrowed down today. I've got support at 97.55 and I've got resistance at 97.81. Doji-like candlesticks are sitting very flat for now within this tight range. Buyers will look up at the 97.81. Tough level to break through, has tested it over the past week plus, but unable to maintain above this level. Sellers will look down at the 97.55. We'll see how that does transpire once the US session gets underway. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. Continuing yesterday's sell-off, firstly a gap lower to start, and we're looking at the futures market for now. Wall Street opens up in an hour and a half, but following yesterday's close, a gap lower to start and moving lower right now. I've got today's support at 6,875, and I have today's resistance at 6,915. So overall, definitely bearish today. Sellers starting off in the futures market, going into the US Open, sellers in control, and will look to test this support level. There's going to be a turnaround demand for equities once the US session gets underway, and I guess more particularly once Wall Street opens up. Buyers will look to bounce off this area, of these levels, and look back up at the 6,900 on the upside. Also, if I zoom out that little bit, you can see how I still have in place the triangle formation. We'll see if that plays out and continues, activity continues to narrow down. Let's have a look at gold. The uptrend continuing. You see the succession of higher lows all through this month since we had the big sell-off to start the month. Right now, sitting also in a tight range, I've got support right up at 5,166. I've got resistance at 5,204, but you can see how the close price hasn't moved much, slightly higher over the past few days, but still very narrow. Buyers will look to retest this 5,200 on the upside. Sellers look at this 5,166. Doji candlestick for now, not much activity. Uptrend in place. We'll see how this how gold develops once the US session is now open, and may well take its cue from the performance of the US dollar and or the equity markets once they get opened up. Let's have a look at Brent oil. There's a big push higher on Brent oil, almost $2. I've got support today sitting at 70.44. You can see the series of higher lows, which has held strong, this most recent one, and bounced off that level. And I've got resistance, and it's breaking that intraday resistance right now at $72.71. So strong push higher today, broken out of the sideways range that oil's been in for the past few days. We had the very strong run up last week, has leveled off, and today another push higher. We'll see whether that can be maintained. Certainly lots of room on the upside, as you can see. So we'll see whether that demand for oil does continue and we see a push higher. Alternatively, if we do get the fundamentals do change, any reason for demand to dry up, sellers will push down from this level. But strong oil continuing the uptrend today. And let's have a look at Bitcoin. unable to hold on to the gains from 2 days ago, back within that very tight range that we've seen between $65, $68 that sat here since the beginning of February. 2 days ago, we had a breakout to the upside, unable to break above this 68,000 level, came down that bit yesterday, and now back below the descending trend line I put in for this month, trading below that right now and testing support at 65.7 thousand. That's the support level for now. I've got resistance at 68.3 thousand. We'll see if sellers break below this level, push lower, look down at the 60,000 on the downside, or if buyers do step in, first goal to get back above this descending trend line and then look up at the 68,000 resistance level. But no demand as yet for Bitcoin, and sellers certainly in control. Third consecutive lower high as well. Good trading, keep trading, keep that discipline. I'll see you at the end of day.